Hi, Luminaires. How is everybody doing? My name is Jamie Butler. I am a medium, and I'm here today to help translate the channeled energy update for October 2022. I am solo today, so therefore I don't feel safe enough to do my trance channeling. I do that with a partner in the room to hold the energy. So I have been chatting with Maitland, and I have her list, and she is here. And I'm hoping there will be no computer glitches, as when Maitland is in the room, often she has a lot of energy that comes with her. Hi to everybody that's here. One bonus is I'll get to see you and shout out. Hi, Fiona. Hi, Nirvana Bliss, Sydney, Dan, Marta. I'm so happy to have you here. This kind of eases my nerves of trying to keep up with Maitland. She speaks very quick and often in metaphors. She has a youthful tone to her. If you're new to the channel, I'm often incorporating her and trans channeling the messages to you. But again, today I'll just be repeating it. Not just, I'll be repeating it. If you would like to have a printout of today's transcript or a transcript of today's message, you can go to my website, jamiebutlermedium.com. Just sign up to the newsletter, comes out once a month, and in it will be a link to the transcript. So if you'd like to have that information printed out, you can have that. We'd like to give that to you. Yes, thank you, Cheryl. Hi, Kim. Oh, I love everybody showing up. If you need clarity on the messages that I'll be transcribing today, please type those questions into the chat thread. I'll definitely keep an eye on it. Other than that, I get to stay put. Let's start. So Maitland is saying hi to all the Luminaires, those who shine light. She is super excited and very loud, and for some reason I'm only hearing her in one ear, so it's a little weird. She's reminding you that in September, this month, that this was the bringing the light, shining the awareness. There were many opportunities for you to just have these aha moments, and that you can kind of take your seatbelt off. Well, we're getting back into a month. She says you got to put your seatbelt back on. And she regrets to inform you that, but it's nicer that if you are more consciously aware of the actions that you're taking, October is going to feed you rather than scramble you. I think we might want to be fed more than scrambled. And she titled October's energy as Getting to Peace. And when I heard her say that, I was like, this is so nice. Thank you, Maitland. And then she started to describe what that meant. And I had to take a few breaths. She was basically, it's an energy overload. She said, do you remember a few months ago when she was talking about large weather patterns, like the earth is scratching her back, everything getting big? So we have an example of that right now with Hurricane Ian happening. She goes, this is the example of big weather patterns, and we're getting into big energy. And you're going to notice big energy, and sometimes you're going to be a part of it. And as long as you are conscious, it can support you, feed you. And she goes, this is your opportunity to learn how to bring peace forward. So if you want, you can look at it as an internal battle or a war and kind of get, I don't think that's a word, fluffy feathered. I think it's called you ruffle your feathers. You ruffle your feathers. Or you can see it as a way to hone in your abilities to stay conscious and let that peace come to you. She said the first week of October, there's going to be some confusion in communication, and dishonesty might pop up. And you might be dishonest without even knowing you're being dishonest, like a little bit of white lie, but you know you're trying to be kind, but that white lie comes out. And she says that whole week, just listen to yourself in your head before you share. It's a great practice anyways. It's going to really help with mindfulness, she says, because come to the 8th and the 9th when the full moon is, this is going to be a little bit more of a lighthearted release. You can go, oh, I don't have to think so much about what I'm going to say or share or be concerned about communication mishaps. So I can let my guard down a little bit. And you'll find that the full moon is generous, sweet, but it might feel on the surface. It's not like a deep release, just on the surface. And she goes, that's important to remember because the energy that comes after this full moon is going to help you redesign your approach to life or your approach to your marriage or your relationship, friendships. It's kind of, if you want to think about it logically, maybe you're thinking about it in terms of a strategy, but it is definitely redesigning how you're going to assert yourself and your energy towards whichever is in your path. Maitland says, yes, we're going to take, good, and that's fine. We're going to take 5 seconds to breathe, and we're going to send love to everybody who is in harm's path of any kind of weather pattern. So this goes beyond what Ian is doing. But she says we're going to start now. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you're breathing in, breathe in ease, harmony, calm. And she says, as you breathe out, imagine that you can hold the earth in front of you and you're breathing out ease and calm all over the earth. And it's just almost melting the, I don't think that's a word either, melting the conflict that's on the earth. So breathe it out all over the earth and calm it down. Release the inflammation trapped, she said. She's reminding you that whenever you feel overwhelmed with what's happening and you don't know how to address your participation, like whether that is the war in Ukraine or the people in harm's way with weather patterns, she says you don't need to think about all the details. You can simply give the energy to the earth, the core of the earth. Direct all your love and intention to the core of the earth and let her in return shine it outwards and affect everybody that is on the earth. So your opportunity to redesign your approach, it's an opportunity, tell them why, Maitland, because logically, you're going to be a little impaired. So that contrast, measure, analysis that you might be used to relying on to keep yourself safe and in a good place might be a little scrambled. So we can't resort to the whole logical bit. So what we get to resort to is how do we feel? And we get to stay very conscious about how we feel. And therefore, when we're moving forward, we need to be more aware about how we're moving because it might be new to some of you. Hence, the redesigning of your approach. Hence, getting to peace. So you're going to find ways to bring peace forward. We are going to have a little bit of a spike October 11th with some mental clarity or spiritual awareness. Like in the middle of it, you'll just kind of surface up to catch a breath and go, yeah, and that's why. You'll have that wow, and then swim back under to a little bit of a scramble logically. You'll notice around you there's going to be, she calls it aha communication. I think it sounds funny because it reminds me of the band aha. But you will converse and talk about spirituality and its effects, and you won't necessarily feel like you're in it going, here's my experience and here's what I'm doing. You'll have this odd opportunity while the logic is a little bit scrambled to talk about spirituality in a way where it is adjacent to you, not on your path, but kind of next to you. And you have a new way of observing it. And that's going to be a lot in people's conversations. And you might want to be aware that when people are talking about it, she says it's that okay, that A-OK sign for you to be able to speak up and share your experiences and your knowledge in the spiritual evolution. So you don't have to stay quiet. This is not about being judged. Mm-mm. It's about, let's put that on the table and look at it without emotion and go, wow, how does that work? How does it function? This is really interesting. So you have a few days of that, like in the middle, from the 11th through the 19th. Again, it's kind of just surface. It's not deep. When the full moon comes, we come out of the confusion of conversation and we get into surface, not deep stuff. Logically a little scrambled, surface. So this might come up with, um, yeah, right, creating struggles in relationships, confusion, because you might need to heal something on a deeper level. But the energy in October is like, no, 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 no. Just keep it real surface. And so there might be some conflict in it. And so when you find yourself in those struggles, Maitland's making it very clear that this is the moment that you discover how to gain peace, how to gain harmony in the midst of being in a struggle. She's also sharing that this is not just an interrelationship between friendship and marriages. She's also looking at this in a structure larger than, like in the government, countries against other countries, kind of a thing. And when you are in this mode of a surface and you're just kind of looking, not really able to evaluate or analyze because the logic is like, it's like a wet rag or a little tired. Um, then it's time to focus on what you love. So if you find yourself lost in any of this, or you feel so confused that you can't find your path, come back to the single thought of, what are my values? What do I love? You know, where's my investment into what I love in life? And let your thoughts rest there. Because mentally, that's going to be the best healing balm for your soul. When we get to the end, like around the 23, she says that's when the focus is going to get a little bit deeper, but kind of extreme. It's going to go shallow to deep dive. Like you're going off a cliff. You're like, I thought we were just having a casual conversation. And all of a sudden it's about life and death, extremes. So seatbelt is going to be very nice at this point. This is when it comes, time to put it on. It's around the 23rd or the 22nd. We have a solar eclipse this month. That's true. Solar eclipse is happening on the 25th. And she describes it, that's pretty much when it's the darkening of the light. Like we're covering it up. We're letting shadow come forward, and it can be very volatile. That stuff that's used to hiding goes, oh, we're mainstream now. We don't have to hide. And it just can come out. So she states that you'll already have your seatbelt on. You'll already be in this position of, oh, we're going to get really real right now. We're going to get deep. And you'll be prepared for it if you're focusing on what you love and staying conscious on your actions. This whole scenario is going to feed you. It's going to feel like a fun roller coaster ride that you chose to get on. You're like, I want to ride that one. Thank you. Woo! She's got her arms up in the air and screaming. I'm imagining her doing this in my body, which makes me giggle. Woo! She's screaming. But if you're not conscious and you get swept up in this deep dive and this muddled energy, logic energy, you're going to feel like you're at loss. It's an energy overload. It's too much. You don't know where to find yourself. So please, she says, come back. What do you love? At the end of the month, there's going to be an expansion on faith-based religions. They're going to come forward a little bit more. More people through this deep dive are going to go, I'm finding comfort and safety within this religion or within this structure. I like this, and we're going to see and hear more about it in the news. She did mention the economy. It was kind of brief. She said midway through, the economy is going to just continue to slowly slant downward. Not a depression, but a recession. She mentioned it might stay there for a little while, not a full year, but maybe around 10 months. But that if you're new to the economy, like stocks and investments, mutual funds, it's a good time to buy. She would buy at the end of the month while like the world is kind of deep dive and the numbers go down and you're like, thanks. I'll take that as something that's very nice. But you're not going to get an immediate return. It's going to have to be money that you don't mind just setting it aside for 2 years. Minimal, at least 2. Might need to be 4 or 5 before it really gets in there to double its time. I think in a 7-year time frame she was mentioning. Practice your honesty. Yes, you must, she says, you must believe in yourself. You have to practice your honesty and you must believe in yourself. Maitland likes to share how our chakras are functioning in the month, of how this energy is coming in, kind of getting to the piece. And there are 3 elements she focuses on: what chakra is being challenged, which one's being needed, and which one is being supported. And the chakra this month, as you can imagine, practice your honesty. The one that's being challenged the most is our throat. And our throat is the place of honesty and communication. She's pairing it with a crystal, the blue lace agate, which is so pretty. If I had one, I would share it. It's a light blue with some white striations. It looks very delicate. It's known as the stone of communication. And she's like, I would 100% carry the stone wherever I was for October, especially the first week. If you're not really that much into crystal healing, she said, just tell yourself to carry it for the week, and then you can put it around your bed at night. But if you are sensitive to frequencies, and crystal healing really works with you because of your sensitivities, carry it the whole month. Even a little bit into November, like the first week. It's going to help you articulate, find your confidence. It can really help neutralize the anger, the upset, and calm it down. She shows me water boiling, and you just kind of turn off the stove and the water cools down. So blue lace agate helps you cool down. It actually really helps thyroid and the bones. That's from me. So there's that. Yes, it has a lot to do with freedom. So when you have blue lace agate, even though there's kind of that shallowness and the logical confusion a little bit, you'll feel like you have many opportunities or big freedom to maneuver yourself how you want. So if you're someone that is super sensitive to energy, this blue lace agate might be part of your protection because you don't want to feel trapped into this. It's not trapped, but held to this logical scrambling. That's the best way to put it, right? Okay. So our throat is going to be challenged the most because we need to find our honesty. And you have to believe in yourself. So of course, when we talk about believing in ourselves, if you have a lot of history with chakras, you're probably going to be thinking about the solar plexus, which she's jumping up and down now. She's distracting. The solar plexus is going to be needed the most. It's right beneath the curve of your ribs. If you get in there with your thumb and press beneath the curve of the ribs, you'll find a little spot that's a little tender or sore. That's right where it sits. The solar plexus is needed the most because when we get into this month and we're redesigning our approach, you get this opportunity to say, this wasn't working before. I've always wanted to change it. Maybe I didn't get to it. Now I can because the energy is holding you to it. Then you start to dig deep into your solar plexus. What do you believe in? Who are you? How do you identify yourself? That's going to be shifting in October, shifting more again to emotional expression, to giving, say that again, to giving space and observing spiritual awareness rather than really embodying it. Embodying it will come later, more in like a November timeframe. She wants to pair your solar plexus that is needed for the month with tiger's eye. She would like for you to carry it during the day, but at night you might not need the tiger's eye. So you don't need to put it around your bed. But she loves you carrying the blue lace agate throughout the day and gridding it around your bed. So that tiger's eye is going to be that trust in yourself energy that she was saying. You have to practice your honesty and you must believe in yourself. Because a lot of the logic scrambling that's going to be happening around, I'm not saying it's scrambling your mind. You'll have your thoughts just fine. But you'll go to overthink something, which might be a trait of yours, to understand it, and that energy is just not going to be available, or you won't care to do it. It'll be like, I don't know. I don't want to. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, how do I approach this? And you're going to be redesigning that approach. This tiger's eye will help you trust in yourself. That's going to be extremely important to say, this is what I believe in. And I know all of you are talking about that, and you're saying that is real, but this is what I believe in. So tried and true, connect to yourself. What do you believe in? Tiger's eye is going to help with it. It gives you the confidence, the strength, a stronger foundation in who you are. It'll help you overcome emotional blocks and to take charge of your personal power. And solar plexus is all about your personal power. The chakra that's going to be supported the most. I was a little surprised. She said it's the earth chakra. I was like, oh, we don't really talk so much about that. The best kind of service that you want to get is to rub your feet. So if you get your feet rubbed, it'll help you stay grounded and in your body. It's going to be beautiful. The chakra, the earth chakra, she's pairing it with obsidian. Obsidian is a volcanic glass. And the volcanic glass, she goes, when you sit with it, it's black. It's really, really shiny, and you can see your reflection in it. It's very light. And when you see the reflection in it, it gives this whole new meaning of looking at the shadow self, or helping you look deep into your soul through the reflection to take courage in the face of your inner truths. And since October is really about pushing you to find new paths to peace by being honest and by believing in yourself, she thinks this is the best. And she would wear it. She's saying if she could eat it, she would eat it. She would put it around the bed, keep it with you at all times. Yes. So we have throat being challenged, solar plexus being needed, because you need to believe in yourself. Then we have the earth chakra being supported, because it's saying stay present, stay conscious, know what you're about to say, know how you're about to move. It's a great opportunity to practice this new approach in communication. Take it as a great opportunity. Her essential oils, sweet and simple this month. There are 3 ingredients. And this is a aromatherapy mix to stay in the flow, to stay positive, happy, serene. That's a great word, Maitland. Serene. The first ingredient is bergamot, and you have 3 drops of bergamot. Then there's cypress. You have 2 drops of cypress, and then orange, and you have 1 drop of orange. So 3, 2, 1, bergamot, cypress, orange. She's choosing the bergamot because this kind of really invigorates the solar plexus. It's a citrus smell. This is that energy that's needed. And so if it's needed, anytime that we can feed that yellow energy, let's go for it. Have a bouquet of sunflowers. I like that idea. This is where she says she would go into what kind of bird to look at, what kind of everything, but I said we're going to pause, is definitely about giving to yourself that yellow frequency this month. And if you find yourself attracted to it, you can do simple things like getting a throw blanket for your couch or for your bed that has this yellow color, or just getting a single pillowcase and putting the color yellow on your pillowcase. That's for me, not Maitland. But I like doing those things for myself as well. That cypress energy that has 2 drops of cypress in the essential oil, that's going to help you stay grounded. So that's helping you with your earth chakra to stay present, conscious with your actions and so forth. Orange is another citrus that's going to help the sacral, right beneath the belly button, your creativity, which you're going to be drawing on this month, just because your strategies that you're used to using, you're not going to really have so readily available. Yes. Well, I told Maitland I was very nervous because I didn't know if I could speak as fast as she would like me to. And the conflicts are already starting. October energy must already have started, says Chiara in Italy. Yes, it has. It's going to be hard to pull into those analytics, compare, contrast, logic, debate kind of energy, because it's just going to be so shallow. We're playing in the shallow end of the water. It's going to give you a whole new perspective of how you want to show up. Meaning, let's focus on the outcome that we want, which Maitland's been saying, making your way or finding your way to peace, getting to peace. Let's not look at all the conflicts and the war and invest in that. Let's look at how to bring it to a resolution. Maitland will be teaching a channel class that takes a deeper dive into all the crystals and the chakras. She's going to teach that October 6th at noon Eastern Standard Time, and that's going to be for the YouTube members that are middle tier and higher. So if you are a member here on YouTube, please come join class, or you can also watch the recording. But she likes to be highly engaged with everybody that's there and has a question. How would Maitland grid the bed? Maitland would eat the stones. Can you imagine her doing that? She would absolutely grid the bed with the obsidian. So if you have your black tourmaline around your bed, she says that you can take that one out, put it like in the sun for a short stint, or just kind of collect it and put salt around it so it can cleanse itself. But black tourmaline is really good at cleaning itself. Then she said she would put obsidian around the bed. She would love to keep the selenite if you have it. If you already have your amethyst, you can keep your amethyst. She would add the blue lace agate. If you only want to do the simplified version for gridding your bed for October, she would say black obsidian and blue lace agate. I hope it helps. Sheldon says, hi, Maitland, and says, what an interesting change. It has been an interesting change. Dan says the bergamot, cypress, and orange takes them back to childhood, growing up in Tampa Bay. So nice. Sydney says, honestly, I was getting nervous. This feels much better than what I was making it. Right? Yes. Seatbelt, but seatbelt for like the 23rd on. If there's going to be any kind of head-to-head or increase in conflict, it's going to be later in the year, or in the month, not the year, but it'll last a little bit through the year. So we have from the 23rd until, I think, thank you, January 2nd, where Mars is going into a retrograde. And so that's going to pull out a little bit the energy because it feels like it's going backwards. So it's going to reverse or slow down the energy and pull out some of this anger, confusion, and frustration, strength, control. And that can create conflict. Again, Maitland says, it is really going to be up to you. You can put on your lens of saying, I'm just going to consciously move forward. I'm not going to fall asleep. I'm not going to go back to indoctrinated beliefs. And when I'm stuck in something, I'm going to focus on what I love. your outcome, the seeds that you're planting then are going to flourish all the way through the end of the year through January. So if you have what did you just say? I don't know that word. She's making up words again. Constitution is what I would say. If you have the Constitution, then I would follow that and you would reap the benefits. We're just going to say that. We're going to pretend she just said that. Does anybody have any questions or clarity around the information that Maitland's sharing? Economic update, please, and thank you. She sticks out her bottom lip. She goes like this. It's not a depression. It's not that your resources are going to be gone. You're going to feel like your resources are being held or hugged, squeezed, but not choked out. So you're going to feel tight with available resources. So if you're looking for weird things, not weird things, common things, paper goods, manufactured items that you use on a daily basis might feel not so available. So it's going to help you rethink what you use, how often you use it, and how wasteful you are. So there's that. But the export, import, or trade is also going to be squeezed, and that's going to dip the stock market or the mutual funds. And so they'll slowly decline. There's no steep decline. It's just like going to go to bed. She says it's going to go to rest for a little bit. But when it goes down, if you have available money, some people won't, you'll be able to purchase into it. And if you can let your money sit there for 2 to 7 years, thank you, 2 to 7 years, then you can watch your money grow. Buy Christmas presents now? Amy, yes. Yes. Be innovative or simplify what gifts you give, because there might not be a large selection. There's a large selection, but receiving it is going to be delayed. And that's a new process that you're going to be learning, because you can't just think about saying, I'm used to it arriving here, or I can always go to the store and get it. Those things are going to shift through the end of the year. But then we come into 2023 and it's just a little bit different. It starts to pick up and it starts to change in a different way. Is the real estate market going to balance out? And are the investment bankers, hedge fund people going to get held accountable for buying up the inventory? The real estate market is going to balance out. But first it has to bust. That's the word she's using. And then when you're talking about the hedge fund people getting held accountable, she says, nope, not in the way you want them to, and not in a way that you think would be fair. If you're looking at the entire system and finding a fair outcome, you're not going to be experiencing that. She's a little excited about this, which was not the response I was feeling inside. I was like, oh, it sucks. But she's happy, because then that pushes another domino, which leads into a different set of laws that need to be readjusted. So this malpractice that's happening, she's excited because we're going to get benefits from it later. When will it bust, Maitland? She said, or burst. She said it doesn't just burst and then crash, but she says it reaches to a top and it's almost as if the buyers can't purchase anymore. And so it naturally has to drop down. But it is not going to present itself as a crash. So I hope that helps. And she said some of that is happening now, but you're not going to see the majority of it until around the end of the year, around Christmas. Is Europe going to have trouble with gas and heating systems this month? She said yes. Will Britain's currency fall below the dollar? I don't mean to laugh at that. Her answers sometimes are just like, she goes, well, it is getting dangerously close. Um, no, it's not going to fall beneath, but it is going to reach a 1-to-1. And there's going to be there's going to be what you would call in Britain a crisis. I'm asking a ton of questions. Sorry, I don't mean to go quiet. That's the difference in having it translated or given directly to you. She does call it a crisis because resources are going to be so imbalanced. And there will be larger companies that fold. And then during the folding, she says the people, like she said, it's not a depression. You're going to feel squeezed and you're going to have to make different choices, but it's not going to stop you from living your best life. It's just not. So, with that being said, some companies are going to go under, and that space in the market is going to leave room for up and coming ma and pop, like more personalized one-on-one businesses to come in. So as it's rebuilding, it's going to immediately feed the economy instead of kind of a crisis and you don't feel, she's saying, and you don't feel supported or the balance doesn't come back. So this right now is she is oddly excited about the strife that we're going to go through, especially coming late October through the end of the year, because what results in it in January through June is a lot of rebuilding in the way that aligns with higher frequency business or higher frequency honesty, integrity, and lifestyle. Will there be any relief in the water shortage? She's got her hands on hips. She goes, well, they're working on it now. So there is going to be relief. It's not coming immediately. It's going to give a 2-year time frame of having to get really creative, and then after a 2-year time frame, it looks like it's resolving itself because of innovation. They're building something. They're digging, not digging down. They're digging across. It looks like a trench. I have no idea what I'm looking at. A new river. They're making a new river. Man-made. It's man-made. It's not natural made. And then they're processing. They're going to pass a lot of processed salt water, ocean water, in a certain way. Ooh, I hope they're going to be careful with that. Oh gosh, we could just go on and on, can't we? Our water is tampered with now. Is it going to be pure soon? She doesn't know what your term soon means, but she does say it's going to get clean. All right. I hope this is helpful to everybody. Maitland is waving her hands, both of them, like you can see her. She's saying thank you for all of the attention and giving her the time to let you know about October. And she's hoping that you'll join her in her class October 6th. And if you want the transcript, again, right, you can go to, I know this one, you can go to jamiebutlermedium.com, sign up for the newsletter. The newsletter comes, it'll have the link right on top. You can click it and get the transcript. So if watching the video isn't enough for you to see the information, this is helpful. You like the laugh? It's so funny. It feels awkward to be here and have her there, like I'm responding to someone off camera. But I'm hoping those of you who know Maitland can just see and hear her. She's so funny sometimes. She's blowing, oh gosh, here we go. She's blowing you kisses, and she says, see you later, alligator. I'll see you soon, baboon. She's going to see you And after a while, crocodile, oh man, I'm sorry. I don't do this. Oh, you get a bye-bye butterfly. Ciao, ciao, ciao. That's so funny. She loved that one. Hasta mañana, iguana. She's just going to go on, guys. It's not going to end. I'll end it for her. Take care, everyone. Have a beautiful October. Reinvent yourself. Discover how to get to peace. Bye, everybody.